Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. This is about a mousetrap that was set to catch a bear. So we began the reading with mentalism. That's the idea that the all is mind, the universe is mental. There's somebody that wanted to build a relationship with the Queen of Wands. But in order to build the relationship with the Queen of Wands, they would have had to trick or trap or make this Queen of Wands some type of victim, all right? And so we're talking about building relationships with others. Now, the Queen of Wands has endless energy, right? Thrive on being busy. They're loyal. They're protective. They're like everybody's cheerleader. Very ambitious, very driven. Sometimes the life of the Queen of Wands can look like organized chaos. Like imagine a junky desk, right? Queen of Wands, you'll ask them for a piece of paper. It looks like a complete mess. They go over to the pile. They get what you need, and they do this every time. Right? And so that it's just the amount of passion, the amount of fire. It just scatters and it burns quickly and it's going. Just imagine fire. Well, that is the energy that lives in the Queen of Wands. Now, somebody wanted to build a relationship with the Queen of Wands, but they wanted to trick the Queen of Wands, make this queen a victim of something. Now, everything happens in the mind. Everything is happening between the ears. So this is somebody that had a mouse mind. A mouse mind wanted to make the mind of a bear their victim. Listen, the bear will never lose to the mouse. The bear can't lose to the mouse. Now, there's a period of time where whoever is in this, how can I say this? Whoever this mouse is, there's a period of time where temporarily they felt like they were experiencing goodness, right? But the thing about time is that it always changes. Nothing lasts forever. So your good times are temporary. The beautiful thing about that is that your bad times are also temporary. And so whatever this trap was that was set for this bear, when I'm talking about bear, I'm talking about your mind. Your mind has bear power. And somebody with the mind of mouse power thought that they could contain you. This person has recognized that they made an accident. The reason why they set the trap is because they felt like, well, if I could just contain this bear, I'll be abundant. My wishes will come true. Promise and fulfillment, right? Somebody was wanting to feel pleased. They were wanting emotional fulfillment, material fulfillment, something about achieving their desires, right? But somebody was happy to do this. This could also be a drinker. The Nine of Cups, this is a lot of cups. This is a lot of merriment, and sometimes we have a tendency to feel this, liquid courage. I love drinking because it always made me happy. Now, somebody recognized that they made an accident. So this accident could have been made while they were drinking, or this could just have been a person who just wanted every one of their cups filled. And so they were willing to do something dangerous. They were willing to throw caution to the wind. Now there's some type of accident that has taken place, and this person knows that all those good times that they experienced, those were short term. Those were temporary, because the one thing that we can all count on is for things to change. Mentally, you can't lose. The mind of a bear will never lose to the mind of a mouse. And this is what somebody is recognizing. It's like, damn. So you was a bear the whole time and I was the mouse? You goddamn right. That's the energy I'm feeling in this reading. The mind power that you have has the ability to sustain a community. When you pass your tests, your roots become stronger. You become stronger. So this means that you didn't always start as a bear. You didn't always have the mind of a bear. At one point, you had the mind of a mouse. And listen, when I'm talking about a mouse and a bear, I'm using those two specifically because of the drastic difference in size. Okay? That's all. I mean, a mouse could totally be smarter than a bear. I'm not using it for that aspect. I'm just using it for size, okay? So I want you to imagine that at one point you had a mouse mind, but the only reason why you became a bear is because you passed your test. It doesn't mean that you weren't challenged. It doesn't mean that you didn't face obstacles. It doesn't mean you didn't fall down. It means when the challenge came, you dug in, you dug deeper. You were like, I gotta ground. I gotta put my feet on the ground. Every time the challenge comes, you have an opportunity to get stronger. Becoming stronger is not guaranteed. It is how you respond to the test. If you respond to the test like, oh, I can pass this shit, but I'm gonna have to get in the weight room. Like, you know what I mean? It's when you recognize maybe I'm not equipped, but I know how to get ready. I'm not ready, but I can get ready. Imagine somebody who has the mind that's always ready. And not even because they're always ready, but they know they can get ready. And so a mind of a mouse wanted to contain a bear, but this bear's mind is never ending. It's never growing because there's no test that this bear ran away from. There's no obstacle that this bear was not willing to challenge. And so the reason why somebody wanted to capture or trap this bear, the mind of the bear, is because they almost wanted to use your mind in order to benefit. Now, I have the energy of the Page of Pentacles. I have the energy of like rites of passage or a ceremony. Now, this was a lesson for both parties, right? This is what exposed the bear, that the bear is really a bear, but this also allowed the mouse to see I was fucking with a bear the whole time, right? And so this is like a come to Jesus meeting in self. So whoever came against this bear came against somebody who never ran away from a test, who never ran away from a fight, who was always willing to become stronger, who never fell prey to their weakness. Right? And now it looks like for a certain amount of time, because we talked about the temporariness of good times, whoever challenged you, whoever attempted to trap you for a certain period of time, they may have tested you and it may have looked like you were trapped. But whatever you did with your mind while you were in that trap literally transformed you while in the trap from the mouse to the bear. And you only did it with your mind. And maybe the curse was to come against your mind. Because listen, if you use your mind in the way that the Most High has ordained, you really can't lose. But if you're out here scheming and plotting and trying to steal or trying to come up and find fulfillment off of the energy or off of the life of another, off of trapping people, right? Trying to get people in relationships just so that you can come up off of their goodness. If that is your hustle, then you gotta learn. It's only temporary. It is a short-term hustle. You must plan for the next thing. Right? Everybody plans for the win, but nobody plans for the loss. But if you won by stealing, if you won by lying, if you won by trapping and tricking and alluring and making somebody your victim, that will change. That is temporary. So somebody has made an accident, and they made an accident because the person that they tried to trap is a person that doesn't run away from tests. They don't run away from fights. And so every trap you put them in is really just a challenge. It's just a moment for them to see how strong they are. Now, this trap is really supposed to be a curse. Imagine that. When you are trapped, somebody just wants to curse you. They want to send you some type of misfortune. They want to send you some type of catastrophe that keeps you stuck. It keeps you in pain. It keeps you hurt. It keeps you wounded, right? It keeps you stagnated. Traps are energetic curses. But when the curse comes to you, if you don't run from it, if you dig in, then you will pass it. You will ascend beyond it. You'll transmute it. Somebody felt like if they could trap you, you would miss good news. You would miss the welcome change. You wouldn't be able to learn anything. You wouldn't be able to study anything. You'd no longer be able to create your methodical approach, right? Your ability to work hard stopped. Your discipline. Somebody trapped you because they didn't want you to grind. They hated the way you grinded because they knew that, listen, the reason why you pass the test you pass is it's not because you have anything magical. It's because you show up knowing that you will get on the other side. And so somebody wanted to trap you so that you would stop attempting to get on the other side. And so while you were in that trap, transforming from the mind of a mouse to the mind of a bear, while you were in that trap, somebody was living it up. Somebody was having a great time. But this was also a rites of passage. This was some type of mysterious event, right? This was a ceremony that was always supposed to happen. This was always going to take place. Why? Because this is a reading about inequality, uneven development. This is how people see who they are and see who they are not. You'll never meet a bear unless, people have to get you wrong. People have to attempt to get you wrong. People have to challenge you. People have to try spells. People have to send you. They have to. And when I say they have to, I mean because there are certain people that are so far away from God that the only method they have is magic. The only method they have is spell work. And they will use their best. Let them use their best. They're so far away from God, they ain't got nothing else to use. And it is when they attempt to use it on you, and it is when the outcome fails, that they actually get closer to God, because they'll see that all of that shit didn't work. It didn't stop you. It didn't trap you. You became a damn bear while trapped. And so this is what draws people into you. This is how the Most High uses you as bait to pull out the fools that thought that they could contain you. But your mind is tapped into the universe. Like the Most High is connected. You are plugged in. And so there's no trap. When we say trap, we're talking about mental. Somebody thought that they could put your mind in a cage. But how small did their mind have to be? How small do you have to think that you can put somebody else's mind in a cage? Think about how small that thought is. Can we really think about how small of a thought that is? There are a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of small thoughts, a whole bunch of mice with a whole bunch of mice thoughts. And they really would love the might of the Most High. But they're so far away. And they're not far away because they can't get back. They just haven't chosen. They're just wanting good times. They're wanting change. They're not wanting to put the work in. They're just wanting to feel the pleasure of promise. They're wanting to feel fulfillment. And so they're willing to do dangerous things to feel fulfillment. But when you do dangerous things against divine beings, you learn. This is how you recognize how unequally yoked you are, how undeveloped you are. Y'all, somebody trapped you, but the trap that they put on you, it was actually your rite of passage. This was actually the ceremony you needed to become the bear. Can you imagine that if you were never trapped, you never would have become the bear? Your mind would have never been activated. You would have potentially have always believed that you were this mice. But when somebody did something small to you, it forced you to become bigger. Right? And so this was some type of outside influence. This was some type of outside influence, some type of collaboration. Or maybe somebody thought that they could could create a relationship, but it was really about coming after your mind. Y'all, can we just talk about how small it is? And I know everybody listens to me, right? So y'all out there that are throwing mental magic and trying to literally cage people's minds, you have a caged mind. In order to do something like that, you are projecting your reality. You just want somebody's mind to be imprisoned with yours. That's why you're trapping people. That's the reality that you're springing off from. You are a mouse that wants nothing more than to be a bear. But you are so far away from the Most High. And so the might of the bear can't reach you, right? In order for you to transform your mind, only the Most High can do that. But as long as you're willing to do dangerous things and to injure others for temporary change and temporary goodness, well, then the might of the bear will never reach you. You'll always be a mouse setting silly traps, right? And everybody thinks they're winning when the trap is working. And the trap is never really working. I mean, yes, somebody may be still. Somebody may be stopped. Maybe they're not posting. Maybe they're not talking. Maybe they're not texting. That doesn't mean shit's going left. No, they're just becoming a bear because you just did some mouse shit. And now they gotta become a bear, right? So that you can see how uneven you are, how unprepared you are. And so y'all, be mindful of not becoming offended when people get you wrong. When small people with small minds attempt to build relationships with you because they think that they can capture you in some kind of way, allow you to be their lesson. Allow yourself to be their lesson. Dig in like you've never dug in before. Right? Because they think that as long as you're in that trap, you ain't gonna get, and listen, they're looking in the 3D world. When you're trapped, they're like, you ain't getting no news, no good messages are coming to you, right? They're looking for all of the new opportunities to stop. That is the point of trapping your mind. But a mouse doesn't understand what is happening within you. A mouse, they can't fathom. And so they just gotta wait for it. They're going to send the curse. They will curse your opportunities, but they're your new opportunities, right? Dig in. Here's an idea also. The type of people that send traps are rude people. Rude people. Why do I say this? Well, there are different kinds of fruit, right? We have spirit fruit and flesh fruit. People that are carrying a whole bunch of flesh fruit are going to only be concerned with the material world, right? And so they are going to be willing to do very rude things in order to fill their flesh. But people who are carrying fruits of the spirit, they're only trying to fill their spirit. And so those are people that are going to be kind in how they build relationships. They will be kind in how they use their mind. In order to sustain a community, some people are willing to rob, kill, cheat, and steal. And there is a level of rudeness that your flesh has to carry. So allow rudeness to be an energy locator, right? People that are rude are willing to carry anything to gain anything. But people who are kind are willing to, they're not, listen, everybody can receive peace and happiness. Kind people aren't choosy about who they offer their gentleness to, their compassion to. Right? But rude people are only after one thing. If you don't have what they need, well, then why do I got to be kind to you? I'm after the material. I'm after the desire. I'm after the promise. And so if you don't have the promise, if you don't have what I need, then, that's that thing. So look for that in people's behavior. Those flesh fruits versus those spirit fruits. People that are after certain things don't have the ability to be kind all the time because it costs too much to be kind. It spends too much, right? It doesn't equate to what they need. They need the tangible. They need to see. They need a different type of value. They need a flesh value, not a spirit value. And so this is somebody who was ruled by their flesh, who thought that they could possess the mind of somebody who was ruled by the spirit. And they understood that, I am nowhere close to being a bear, right? And for a period of time, times were good. But when change comes, this is when they understand. All right, y'all. I love you. I'll see you on the next one.